Welcome to Glitch Please, the show where we talk about video games every single week. I'm Ashley.
I'm Chad.
I'm Adam.
I'm Brian.
I have to ask you a question. Do you ever get people being like, you're such a Chad?
No.
Just because that's like this internet term right now?
Yeah, it sucks. It's a horrible name. This is so weird. This keeps coming up on podcasts for me recently. I don't know what
It could be so much worse, though. You could be Chaz.
I mean, that's true,
Yeah.
but like, there's that stigma with that Chad name, like, it seems so pro-y and like.
But it also means like you bang, right?
I mean, I guess.
It's like you pull, you're good. Like
Well,
the ladies are
You
into
pull.
it. You know?
Yeah,
So-
pull. There you go. No, but there's like.
There could be a worse stereotype, I think, is what you're saying. Than
Yes,
they
that
think
is
you
what I'm
fuck.
saying.
Well, right, but there's something about the name that they just keep bringing stuff up. Like there was Charlie's Angels, Tom Green's character was the Chad, and so like, God, when
Oh
that
my
movie
God,
came out-
I remember that.
Yeah, imagine
The
if your name is Chad and what everyone responds to you with like all the fucking time. And then there was that Chad Bro Chill video where, God. And then now there's this new meme and it's just like, I hate it, man.
I remember.
What's your middle name?
Paul.
Paul's pretty.
I have three first names.
Paul's-
Like,
yeah, oh
Wow,
my God.
you
Chad
do.
James, holy
yeah,
shit.
the best part is going
Are you
out of
mentally
state.
sound?
I am. As far as you know. I mean, you keep inviting me back, so hopefully that works.
What's the point of middle names? They're kind of like reject names. No one ever wants them.
more
No, or they're
identifying.
like legacy, or they're like family names, or it's like some
yeah.
sort of tradition. Like I know
Like my dad's name,
some people have a tradition of the mother's maiden name will
Yes.
then become like a middle name for kids to like keep it alive, or that kind of thing, or like your grandfather's name is your middle name, just like sort of family tradition and sort of tiebacks.
I feel bad. Like, I have a family tradition where all the firstborn males have Edward as their middle name. And I am the Edward, so I get to pass on that name, but I'm not having kids. So I've just killed
It sounds
the
like such a
whole
royal name,
generation.
though. Adam Edward Ellis. Like,
It does sound like that, yes.
His royal
It sounds like it needs a sir before it.
Yes, totally.
Sir Adam
Totally.
Edward Ellis.
We've all got pretty common names. We're a rogues gallery of very.
Yeah,
there were
man.
4 Brians in my 4th grade class.
I had 4 Ashleys in my 4th grade
We had to
class.
go by last names.
there's a lot of Brian's in this company, too.
Yeah.
That's what I was noticing.
I've been Gar
There's a lot
ever
of,
since I was
there's
a
a lot of every basic name in this company.
We're hashtag basic. So there's a lot to talk about this week. One, we all been playing games, lots of new stuff out. We're also, now that I feel like Spider-Man kicked it off, we are now in the holiday run of games. There's a lot of games coming out, which I think deserve a bit of a go-over, because like this is a hype holiday for a lot of people. There's a lot of really big games coming out, a lot of big franchises, a lot of highly anticipated games. Yes, I am talking about Red Dead
Dead,
Redemption
I
too.
took all 10 days for that game.
Did you really?
That's fucking awesome.
And
Sweet.
so, like, that's going to be a whole thing. Also, a lot of stuff happening in current events. We're actually recording this podcast a little bit earlier than usual because some of us are leaving for RTX London.
Some of us.
Some of
I
the
am
lucky
leaving
ones.
for
Lucky, yeah, no
RTX
shit.
London. But so we're recording a little bit earlier than usual. And this morning, we've been dealing with a whole current event ourselves, which is a copyright issue on a video that we did about EA being under investigation in Belgium for refusing to remove loot boxes from their games.
That's
so
weird. It got
that's the whole
DMCA'd.
thing. Yeah. Well, here's the weird thing about it. It got DMCA'd not by EA, but by the European Football League. But for a FIFA clip. So, like, trying to figure all that out is really fun. So that's been
Do they have some stake in
crazy-
FIFA, or do they just...
They're just working through puppets.
Either that, or we're to the point with games now
So
where
realistic.
bots just think it's footage. They just think that it's football.
I mean, there's definitely times where I've been at, like, I was at a bar one time and they had real sports on, and for some reason they had video game sports on, and I thought, like, just at a glance, it looks real, like, that looks like
yeah,
basketball.
you look over and you go,
Some of the NBA games.
Yeah.
I mean, graphics really have come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Mind you, I wonder if we're going to get to that point where in 10 years we look back at the current level of graphics and go, oh my God, I can't believe I thought that was amazing.
That's what I
Because
wonder.
Every
without ray
generation I see, I'm like,
tracing.
this is the best video games
Like,
can
how
ever
much
look.
better can they fucking get?
Have you seen the Battlefield 5 ray tracing demo?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
I remember when Star Fox was amazing on SNES.
And you're like, this is incredible. I can't believe they're doing like all these.
3D
Or like your first
graphics.
3D games. And you're like, whoa.
You have to dodge.
And then you look back now and you're just like, oh damn, like.
Yeah. So I'll be really curious to look back at this era in 10 years and see if I'm still impressed by it, because at some point you have to plateau, right? Just technology is gonna get to the point where
I don't know
we'll
about
do
that
like
soon.
it'll be more about like what 8Ks, 20Ks instead of
Yeah. I mean, it always gets cheaper, the older it gets, but man, the processing power is just.
Well, we've definitely plateaued in like CPU power, but GPUs still keep making leaps.
yeah. They just announced the RTX line of cards.
Here's the RTX demo. It looks
hood of that
so
car.
good. Like
Everything can shine lots.
Yeah, look at
I
that.
mean, the thing is that you have real-time reflections. So you look in mirrors, you look in windows. Every reflective surface is properly reflecting. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you see it in action, you're like, damn, that does look fun.
You gonna pull the trigger on a 20 series card?
I have.
They're
I was-
enormously expensive.
I was gifted a Titan X.
What?
So I don't have an
What? How?
excuse to
Why?
get one.
Okay.
But like my Titan X doesn't do ray tracing. Or doesn't, like,
I'm waiting to see more about
Wow,
this.
what are you even doing? Come on.
I know.
This old ass
Gift it to the
shit.
trash.
Yeah, I was ready to do it. I had this moment when I knew the 20 series they were gonna get announced, and I was like, you know what? I've never had like the top of the line graphics card, but I'm an adult, and I'm at the stage in my life where I'm like, I can do it. I'm gonna do it. And I was preparing for $1,000 for the 2080 Ti because they rumored they were gonna release them simultaneously, right?
Oh, but the regular one's $1,000, right?
Well, yeah. So the 2080 Ti is $1,200.
That's
And I was just
so
like,
much money.
It's that extra $200 was your breaking point.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
1,000, sure.
But
also
if
the
you end up getting the regular 2080, you're gonna be in like a year. You're gonna be like, man, I could spend $200 and have the better version.
Yeah, well, like with the 10 series, like between the 1070 and the 1080, it was like a 50% price increase for 25% more performance. But the problem is with the performance stats they released on the 20 series cards were all about like, this is how well it does ray tracing compared to what the
Yeah,
10
it
series
was
does.
bad-
Like, well, the
bad
10 series didn't
comparisons.
do ray tracing, so that
Yeah, it's really bad.
I'm waiting to see where it clocks in at, and then I'm gonna pull the trigger. So we'll see.
Look at those windows.
So
So reflective.
did you notice there's a little nod in Spider-Man? And I saw this going around
for
on
the-
Twitter, I think, for the Twin Towers, where Spider-Man would be climbing up a windowy building, and you'd see the reflection of the Twin Towers. You look behind you, and they're not there.
I definitely did.
It's also not in the same it's not in the same location. It's just like a little nod
That's
to
interesting.
the,
Oh,
I definitely did not
the Twin
notice.
Towers. But it's kind of cool, regardless.
Remember right after 9/11 how they removed any reference to the Twin Towers in like shows?
There
it was
was-
like we can never. It was this weird
I remember seeing this.
erasure.
Maybe it was on Reddit, or maybe it was another Twitter thing. The things just go by in my feeds, and I absorb them and have no idea where they came from. But it was something about Martin Scorsese being pressured to remove the Twin Towers from a movie that he had coming out in 2002 because
Bring
of
Out
that.
the Dead or something. In The Sopranos opening credits, they had the Twin Towers when Tony's driving to Jersey. They took that out. There's a whole
Simpsons
Simpsons
episode.
episode. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to look up what this was. Gangs of New York. And so there was pressure for him to remove.
Because there's that.
Gangs of New York was like.
There's a
Maybe-
montage.
Yeah, okay,
at
maybe
the
I'm
end, though.
wrong here, but there's at some point there was pressure for him to remove
Yeah,
the Twin Towers
it
from
shows-
the 2002 movie. I thought it was Gangs of New York.
He chose to show the towers rather
Gangs of
than
New York.
remove them because the movie is supposed to be about the people who built New York, not those who tried to
And
destroy
the
it.
last
It was
scene,
Gangs.
the
Yeah.
last scene sort of shows like over time, like New
Okay.
York kind of
Understood.
progressing.
Oh yeah.
'Cause,
yeah,
it's
so
set
that
during
was
the
just like
Civil fucking War. They were in the Twin Towers.
so
Good movie. though.
crazy stuff about all of that. But I like that little Spidey nod. I actually like a lot of the Spidey nods. There's
Man,
some fun stuff in
So
there.
good.
I love that game. Also,
Me too.
I took a picture of the Statue of Liberty and realized that there's 50 secret photo locations. I didn't. That's a lot. That's too many.
There's there you can get a suit mod that shows you where they are in your minimap. not on the big map.
Oh, just on your little.
But yeah, as you're swinging around, you'll see a new camera icon just on your mini map, and you can go there and take pictures. Yeah, there are 50 of those.
Probably will
and
just follow a guide if I want to complete those.
Yeah, and there
you're just honest about it.
28 newspapers you can check as well. Like you go up and there's these sort of like the red newspaper boxes you can see on the street.
Oh.
And there's 28 different Daily Bugle covers that you can read.
Oh,
and that's so. In addition to all of the collectibles in the game, of which there are a shit ton.
Yeah.
There are also secret collectibles.
I saw those in my like collections, but I didn't like collect them. I guess maybe. They just show up.
Yeah, I don't even know if there is a trophy for those. It's just a sort of secret thing. In fact, I was going down the list because I was really worried about. I was like, this seems like it would be fun to platinum, but some of the challenges, specifically the Taskmaster challenges, you get graded on, and you can do basically like the basic where you get like 1 challenge token, or you get a better and you get 2 challenge tokens, but to get 3 challenge tokens is
I want to say I want to say those Taskmaster challenges, you just have to get like on each type, you just have to get a grade 2 or better, which is like a spectacular. Because I'm pretty sure I got those trophies, and I have not gotten a 3 on most of them.
Well, and I think it has to do as well with if you save the challenge tokens for suits, because there's a trophy related to getting all the suits, but I don't think there's a trophy related to getting all of the gadgets.
Oh, that's dumb.
Then you don't have to have all 3 challenge tokens. Also, I guess they're going to be adding in a New Game Plus.
Yep.
That will make that a little bit easier for people.
I'm wondering if this game is going to spawn like a love of photography in some people, because like as soon as the game released, I just saw like my Twitter feed explode with like everyone taking selfies in the game. You know,
it's
like
kind of the same with God of War.
God of War and No Man's Sky.
It's honestly, it's a really great tool for these developers to be having in games, because people are sharing, and all of the images that they're showing all look really great, and so it's a ton of free marketing. Yeah. Lots of good word of mouth.
Are we talking about games?
Also,
'cause that game's really good.
We are talking about games.
you've been
games.
Yeah, that's basically what I've been playing. That game, you guys talked about it last week, but holy shit. I expected that game to be really fun to play. I did not expect the story to be like so engrossing and the character development to be so great.
I really liked it. John and I discussed it a bunch. Yeah, that's pretty dark. Poor Ben Parker.
There was a great Tumblr called Selfies at Funerals, where it was all these kids taking.
Oh my God.
Reminds me of.
Yikes. Yeah, but now I've lost my train of thought. I like the story. When John and I were discussing it, we like Spider-Man better than we like Peter Parker in this. Peter Parker seems kind of bland and like watered down, and it seems like he doesn't really become himself until he's Spider-Man.
He's definitely a bit of a Mary Jane, or not a Mary Jane, what's the word? Mary Sue.
Mary Sue.
Yeah.
You're right.
I was close.
Yeah,
It's Spider-Man
it's
related.
applicable here.
Yeah. He is kind of like, he does everything. He helps out the homeless. He's like the smartest person in the world. He's a superhero. He's kind of a bit too he's too great. But I think I did like his character. He was like super likable, and like he's such a good dude.
No, he is. He's a great dude, and I love that whether he is in costume or out of it, he's trying his best to help people and make his Aunt May's motto is if you, or I think it was also his Uncle Ben's, if I recall correctly, but it was you help someone, you help everyone. Like just help a person and make the world a better place.
Yeah.
And you see that as well, just because in this, his Aunt May is working at Feast, which is a shelter and a resource for people who are down on their luck, and just trying to help someone in some small way.
Felt like I was
which is very
playing-
Spidey philosophy.
Yeah.
I like it.
It felt like I was playing like the best Spider-Man movie ever.
Yeah.
That whole game, like it was like one of the first open world games where I didn't spend my time like burning through like the side content before I completed the story, because I was just like, man, this is just, I just want to see it through. And for the most part, I just did the story and then I did all the side stuff. So I still have like I'm like 90% done, but like the story was just, I think it's like the best part of that game. I could probably just play the story and be happy.
I tried to break it up a little bit because when I saw how many collectibles there were, like that's a lot. And I really enjoy the traversal and I really enjoy all that stuff, but if that's all you're doing for an extended period of time, I feel like it can get kind of monotonous. Just like, oh, let's swing over to this and now do this thing. And it's all kind of like it blends together. So I actually liked breaking up a story, like a section of the story, and I'd be like, oh, crazy. And then
Go explore.
take some time, go explore,
crime.
knock off a bunch of collectibles, and then come back to the story, just so that I was sort of switching back and forth, and I didn't feel like I was rushing the story. but I also didn't feel like I was spending too much time on collectibles, and it balanced out. I ended up liking it. Yeah.
I like that the game actually like kind of forces you to do that in some respects, where after you complete a mission, he goes, all right, well, time to take a break and go patrol. And you do like one mission, and then that like one side thing, and then a new mission pops up. But it's like, it's cool that it actually.
I'm glad that it does that, because like I get so distracted in games, like especially like Elder Scrolls, like you know, it's like, all right, I'm gonna go do this quest. What's that? And then I'm like gone, and then I'm like, I don't
Wait, what was I doing?
The story
What is the main story? I don't know.
You see a nuclear explosion in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Should have done that mission.
Yeah, that game does a lot of smart things. I love that you can use whatever suit you want, and you can just use whatever suit power, because your suit powers unlock with the suit, but it's not tied to a suit, which is brilliant.
What's your favorite suit ability? I really like the Iron Spider one.
What's the Iron Spider one?
That's he gets the legs that'll come out, and then you can just rack up really high combos really quickly.
Gotcha.
Just because you'll just hit people and like knock them back, knock them down. So I find it really useful, especially if I got surrounded by, say, stable forces who hit really hard, that I would just start fucking go crazy, or electrify everyone. That was also dope.
Probably the ones that like I found the most useful were the AoE ones. So I started off using the Rock Out one, which I think was, I don't know if it's only pre-order, but
It's not pre-order on
That's
this.
the Punk Spider-Man.
yeah, the Punk Spider-Man one. Yeah, so that was like, it's just like an AoE blast with two things. And
Oh, look, it's Punk Spider-Man with shirtless Greg Miller Spider-Man.
if you did, you can like, when you do the punk rock thing, you actually slam onto the ground. So you can do it from like the top of a building down to something. It's really cool. And then there's Ghost Spider. Have you seen Flaming Head guy?
Yeah.
He's fucking cool. He has a.
It's weird because that looks to me
punch.
like
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
I think that I'm not a Marvel guy, but I went and looked up the origin of some of them, and I'm pretty sure that Ghost Spider is a nod to.
Okay, because it looks very much like it. And
almost guarantee it.
There are some things that I follow more closely than other things with Spider-Man, so I'm like, that
I'm pretty sure,
like a crossover, and there are a couple of others that are that you're like, this crossover, I get this reference suit here, but that one I was like, I'm guessing on this one.
I think I read it was from an alternate timeline where Uncle Ben never died. And I can't remember what led to him getting that suit, but yeah.
Interesting.
But
There's some weird stuff in the Spider-Man comics. They tried to do this. They tried to set up a potential like alternate story reboot for him so it follows like Ben, May, and Richard when they were younger, and then like May cheats on Ben with Richard, and
wait, who's Richard? His dad?
Yeah. So basically, they're trying to set it up like if they wanted to go forward with it, that Aunt May was actually his mom the whole time. Anyway.
Wait a second.
It's this weird standalone thing. I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, never mind.
They didn't go forward with it. They never did officially. The characters had these names, and it looked very suspiciously like they were trying to do that.
They're teasing.
There's another time when Spider-Man actually, because of like the radioactive spider, it made his sperm radioactive, and then he had sex with Mary Jane, and it killed her.
Nice. Didn't give her superpowers.
Nope, it didn't.
Interesting.
That's why I'm here.
So you're not really a PlayStation player, right?
No, I am. So,
but you haven't played
I used
this
to be
yet.
I haven't played it yet. So I used to be like a huge Microsoft fanboy, and then with this generation, I switched over because I feel the PS4 is a better console all around, and it has a way better controller. Come at me.
So many.
You know what?
exclusives.
Actually, I really like the Xbox controller. I do think the PlayStation 4 controller is an enormous improvement over the PlayStation 3 controller for one really specific stupid reason: the weight.
Really?
I really like the weight. The PlayStation 3 controller, it always felt empty. Like I could just snap it in half accidentally.
And it gets creaky.
And obviously I couldn't because I'm
big
a weak little
You can do it.
But I always felt like I had to be delicate with it somehow. The PlayStation 4 controller, I like the weight, I like the feel, the sticks all feel really good. I like the touchpad.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I never use the touchpad.
Well,
I mean,
every
it
game
depends
is a
on different
push,
games, like how it is. Yeah, in this, it's like you push down on it. But in the PS4 version of Okami, you can actually draw your cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Your symbol.
Yeah, celestial brush techniques
you go.
on the touchpad, and that's pretty dope. So I like this controller a lot better. That said, I thought the Xbox 360 controller was like the perfect controller.
Right. Yeah,
it was so good in every way, and so they redesigned it for Xbox One. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do this? Why would you mess with perfection? But now that I'm used to the Xbox One controller, holding an Xbox 360 controller does feel kind of weird.
I still use Xbox 360 controllers sometimes.
I use it on PC a ton.
I like the Xbox One controller, but the bumpers suck. At least
They do. So here's the other thing too. Is like I've had this argument with Achievement Hunter multiple times because like I said, I was a big Microsoft fanboy, and I made the Switch. Like it feels so much better in your hands. And they're always like, oh, are you playing with like the standard one or an Elite controller? I'm like, well, I'm comparing the controllers that they both came with. They're like, oh no, you got to get the Elite controller.
Yeah, the $150
And I have one now, and I'm like, but it's like, yeah, you had to pay $150 for that. That's bullshit. This one comes with one that's great. I love the.
Also, I've had a couple of Elite controllers that fell apart really quickly.
Really?
Like the thumbstick would break and just like come loose, so it's just flopping around.
Yeah, for $150, you can't have that.
No, it's I don't need a if I'm gonna pay that much for it, I don't need a flop.
No.
Yeah.
But so I haven't played Spider-Man yet. It looks really interesting. I'm playing a lot
What's
of
your
Sea.
cue?
No, I'm just kidding. All right.
I was actually curious because they have all the updates, and I was like, I'm sure that Chad's been playing.
Now he's in the No Man's Sky.
No, not. So man, it was so funny. I had been playing that game like religiously, right? And I did everything that the game had to offer, all the way up to their biggest update, which was cursed sales. And then I had a bunch of like work trips going on, and I was super busy, and I just stopped playing. So like the biggest update they had put out so far with the all the cursed cannonballs and like skeleton crews attack, I haven't even played it. Wow. And then now there's a new update this week, and I just
lost interest, or
yeah, I don't know. I think I was just like really busy and had a lot going on, and then Battle for Azeroth came out.
It's easy to get out of the groove.
Yeah.
And once you're like, I'll come back to it. It's really easy to not.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah. I had that with MMOs too. It's like you would play a game just hard, months and months, and then just, I think I'm done.
Yeah. Well, see, what also helped is because Battle for Azeroth came out, and then I got convinced to go back to WoW.
Oh, have you been playing that?
Yeah.
I have too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So are World of Warcraft fans angry at Blizzard over this expansion? I see really divided opinions.
People get
on
mad
this,
about everything.
and I don't know because I don't follow World of Warcraft very closely. All I see is these sort of very general reactions, and I don't know what to think of them.
This is probably the reason that some people are mad is because this is probably the most flawed expansion they've put out. The experience is great, like I'm really enjoying it, and they've come so far in their questing and storytelling and making it more immersive. Like there's cinematics baked in now, and I absolutely love how far the game's coming.
Yeah.
There just was so many more bugs and shit broken with this than other expansions that have been released before, and that's what people are mainly mad about. Even the pre-patch that was that did the stat squish every time they do that, there's going to be problems, but it made the game unplayable for some people.
What is a stat squish?
Okay, so what happens when you have a game that everyone's playing for so long, and you keep having to increase better and better and better gear, and then your level gets higher, and your gear needs to get better and better. Well, those numbers you base your gear on start getting pretty astronomical, right? Because you started out this has 20 strength. That's awesome for me. And then you're looking at it this has 2,746 strength. They're like, oh man, we need to pull that back. We need to rein those numbers in. So what they do is they basically drop numbers across the entire board. So your character will now do less damage, but the mobs you're hitting now have less health, and then your stats all drop. So
it just makes it
everything.
So it's like they squish the stats.
Exactly.
Wow.
But if you can think about the complexity in that and how many different NPCs, mobs, items, everything there are in a game like WoW, it's bound to cause some problems. And it did the last time. There's always something, but when this one was really bad when they did that. And then apparently there's I haven't personally encountered any flaws of the game so far. It's been great and super smooth, but the backlash I've heard from a lot of people and the people who are getting upset is just they're just how is this so broken in this many ways? You've always done a better job of this in the past.
They're known for polish. Yeah.
I guess I have not hit 120. I'm playing extremely casually, which is super weird for me for an MMO.
Same here.
But I started with a demon hunter, and I was gonna play a paladin or a warrior, and I started playing a warrior. I'm like, cool, this is the one I'll play. And I got to the end of the trial, and I used my character boost, and I immediately was like, this is a mistake.
You don't like warrior? It's my main.
No, it has so many redundant skills where they do very similar things, hit for damage, hit for damage, hit for damage. It's this is not different.
At least we're not proc based anymore.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, that was the worst. Am I right?
It was.
I went back to Demon Hunter primarily because Demon Hunters have that mobility where you can double jump and you can glide.
Yeah, they're really fun to play.
It's addictive.
And then also your Havoc Dash or whatever, which is great until you accidentally fly through a boss and off of a cliff.
Yeah, well,
that happens.
Their whole class design feels really tight, and there's not a ton of skills, but every skill has extreme a lot of purpose. And I don't know. So I leveled. I'm at 118 now. I think I might be taking a break or just not going back. But the leveling experience has been fantastic.
Oh yeah. this, like I said, with the cinematics and like how immersive they've made it, like it is, you wouldn't even recognize it. Like if you get like I played vanilla like hardcore, and I just imagine like me back then and then being like, look at this game. It's like, whoa, like, you know, it's not just a bunch of bullshit fetch quests, and like there's so much cool stuff to do, and it's been really fun. But yeah, past WoW playing me, I feel would be very disappointed in me now, because like I think I'm like 116, because like there's a couple of reasons. One, been super busy. Normally it would be like, oh, the expansion's coming out, I'm gonna get that expansion. I have days off work, and I'm gonna be like max level within that week.
Take 10 days off.
Yeah, exactly. Do that thing. But one also, WoW's a game that my wife and I have always played together. So like even back in vanilla, like that was like one of the things.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I originally did it because it was like, I'm really getting into this game. I was like, there's gonna be a conflict with girlfriend time and WoW, and I was like, hey,
Solution.
I think you would like this game, and it's an interest we can share, and it was cool. We made a lot of friends through that, and so we always like when a new expansion comes out, well, at least always like leveled together. But she's been super busy, and then like so like we're both playing, and sometimes we'll both be like, all right,
Family
we're
life
tired.
interferes.
Yeah, exactly. We got kids and everything, so the leveling's been slow. But then on nights where I'm like, yeah, let's go play WoW, and she's like, I'm really tired tonight, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to out level her because we always level together, and I'm like, God, I just need to roll another character so I can do that. But I always level my warrior first, so it's this horrible internal conflict that's been going on.
What are you gonna do?
I'll probably just end up rolling another character,
Demon Hunter. It's pretty cool.
or just like be like, this weekend, this is what we do in the evenings. We're gonna get to at least max, because once we hit max together, then I can just go off and do whatever.
Yeah. But I think it's a fun expansion. If I had a complaint, it would be that all the gear in all 3 zones is identical in terms of visuals. Like if you get, doesn't matter where you get it, because like, you can play the zones in any order, but the gear will be identical visually, and then they'll just give you stat upgrades, like, you know, eye level upgrades.
Dude, yeah, to be honest,
but it doesn't
like,
really matter, because eventually you'll go into a dungeon or you use transmog gear or whatever.
I haven't like liked the appearance of WoW gear in a long time, and the good news is I don't have to, because they have transmog. So like,
yeah,
I'm like
I always
perpetually-
kind of look forward to like seeing what the higher tier sets would be like. When, like in vanilla WoW, like the tier 3 sets for warrior was the coolest set ever.
Yep.
But I haven't even looked at what the tier sets are now, or if there is tier sets, I don't even know.
So speaking of that, yeah, they're always gonna have their tier sets.
Have you ever kept lower level gear because it looked really cool?
100%.
Oh yeah.
My whole bank for my older characters have just like full of shit that I don't ever need. Like I think I have like the Phantom Blade was like the level 40 weapon that you would get, or like 35 weapon that you would get in vanilla WoW, and it was like a crafted weapon. It was really dumb, but like everyone used it. Still have that. Still have 2 of those.
What's great is with the transmog system, anytime you get a piece of loot now, you unlock that appearance. So I can basically go to this little ethereal void dude, and he makes whatever piece of gear look like whatever piece of gear I want, as long as I've collected it. And it has kind of pigeonholed me, because you mentioned tier 3. So like I've been playing for a really long time, and I have some stuff that's not in the game anymore. So I feel like I will always have like the same transmog,
I think the transmogs are a count, but you're saying like.
But so my warrior, like I have full tier 3, right? Which they took out of the game. Now it's only back if you buy it in the black market auction house, and it's like really rare.
Oh, is it really? Is it all out of the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they took Nax out.
They redid Nax, yeah, exactly. So all that original gear, and then I also have a corrupted Ashbringer, which is 100% out of the game anymore. Which was.
Can you transmog legendaries?
It's not a legendary. It's an epic, because the Ashbringer was the legendary, and there was originally you're supposed to. This could get really nerdy for people who aren't into WoW, so I'll spare all that. Long story short. It's this really cool sword. It looks really unique, and it did like really cool things. It was one of the few items that would actually change the game around you. So I could go to an instance called Scarlet Monastery, and all the NPCs that were supposed to attack me would bow down and worship me. And then it would unlock a secret cinematic that was behind. There's some really cool stuff. It also whispers at you because it's corrupted and like, tries to get you to kill yourself and stuff. Yeah, it's like it says all these like really creepy things, but because of that, it's like super rare and really cool. And because I'm a warrior, and now we Titan's Grip 2-handers, so like both of mine, I'm just rocking 2 of these things. So there's these 2 gigantic, and they're huge, and they have this big glowy skull in them. Yeah. But I feel like I'm never gonna not have that transmog, so like my character's always gonna look like that.
Have you played WoW since the beginning?
Yeah, I mean I came in, I didn't like do like the
Wow.
I played since the original like vanilla game. Like I probably came in a few months after the game was already out. And there's been a couple breaks. Like I didn't really play Mists too much. I came in at the very end just to experience it. But yeah, I've gone through every expansion, and I rated really hardcore in vanilla, BC, Wrath of the Lich King.
BC and Wrath of the Lich King were.
Yeah, those were mine.
Yeah, and then Mist and Kata is when I like started to like, all right, we don't need to put that much time into WoW anymore. Let's scale back a little bit. Like my warrior has almost a year in game played, just my warrior, and I've got a rogue, a druid, a hunter, and demon hunter. Monk. Wow. a lot of stuff.
I took an 8-year break and before coming back this time around. But it's really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I really want to play Forsaken, the Destiny.
It's fun. Yeah.
Everyone my buddy keeps trying to get me back
really good.
so hardcore, and I'm not taking on 2 MMOs. I refuse.
I'm moving, so I know that like I would have all my time sucked away, and I need that time to like pack boxes. So I can't yet, but maybe when I move.
Bungie's going through a really weird cadence where they keep putting out the game, and everyone goes, "There's not enough game in this game," and then a year later they put out the update, and everyone goes, perfect.
Yeah,
and so they did that with the
exact
first
same thing they
Destiny.
did with Destiny
And
1.
then exactly. So this is like the Taken King, except more even than the Taken King improved on the original Destiny.
Taken King
and
was so good.
Forsaken, everyone is like, please don't do this for Destiny 3.
Right.
Please just see what
please
this
don't.
game is now.
Yeah.
This is what we would expect
When you
and want
release
the
the game.
base game to be when you release it, please.
Yeah.
Please don't put out Destiny 3.
Yeah.
Just
No,
In general,
it's
we're
fine
good.
like it is. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
keep adding to this.
I get pretty much a daily text message from one of my friends trying to get me to come back to Destiny, and but he's playing.
That's why I got back in. A friend was like,
Are you,
nope,
are you
I'll pay for
playing
these.
PC or PS4?
See, I was playing PS4, and then now there's the PC version, and normally I would prefer PC over that, but I'm like, I don't want to level up again.
I
like,
did the same. I bought it on PC, and I don't really like it on PC.
Really?
It's so weird. Like I love PC games, but like I just love the way it feels on a PS4 controller, and I don't want to be at a disadvantage. So stupid.
We'll see. But 2 MMOs, way too much. Can't do that. Yeah. To
But
myself.
Brian, you're digging it?
Yeah, I got in because a friend was like, I kind of quit after the base game, and a friend was like, no, you got to play, like, come on, we're getting a group together for Forsaken. Got back in. I played Warmind and Curse of Osiris, really liked those, so we're playing through Forsaken story right now. It's great. It's like where it probably should have been, but like there's so much.
But this
Tell
way
me
you got
about-
to pay for Destiny 2, and then you got to pay for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What a fucking pain in the ass that it wasn't part of the season pass. It's just like here's
Wait, it wasn't?
No, it's like here's the 2 shitty DLCs, and then you're
Here's
gonna pay
the
for
good one.
I bought the season pass and I didn't even play them. And,
Right.
then now I was like, well, if I do come back,
Right.
at least I have the season pass and I can't. That's bullshit.
Remember there was, I think it was even before Destiny initially came out, but there was some sort of roadmap for Destiny that got leaked or released. It was like a screenshot from a presentation, and it was showing release, comet release, like release, comet release. And the comet is to extend the tail.
Yeah.
And so that was like, it's outside the season pass. It's like, here's our sort of like mid-game break content thing.
It was described as robust DLC.
Yeah, and I know they dramatically, I'm sure they've changed the roadmap. I know the timing's changed for one. And so I'm sure a lot of that's shifted as well, but it does give you a little bit of an insight into their approach for how they're doing this, where, not part of your season pass. This is the Comet release, where it's like the game and a half. This is the 0.5.
Less incentive to come back.
Well, tell me, what are the biggest changes in this DLC?
The new mode is probably the big one, and I forget the name.
Gambit.
It's a Gambit. Yeah, it's sort of PvE/PvP. So you play with sort of your squad, and then there's another squad you're competing against. But you can do things. The more sort of moats you gather and kills you make, you can sort of fuck them up and sort of send things, and then you can ultimately like send a player over to their side and wreck them. So that's been the most fun. I haven't. I've just started the story, so. But that's been fun so far. And then just, new exotics and stuff like that. But the Gambit, I think, is definitely the shining. They didn't try to do a battle royale like everybody else. They tried to do their own
This is
thing.
a Destiny 2 roadmap.
This was the leaked one that came out a while ago. A lot of that's changed since like what's come out. Now you were mentioning so Forsaken is the new $40 expansion DLC big update. There's also another season pass on top of that you can buy that has another 3 DLCs that are going to come out over the next
season
year.
2 pass.
Is this
basically, yeah.
this was a leak?
This was it from forever ago. I'll try to find the source of it.
It's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive
So, but
to keep up with.
Also,
wonder-
they killed Nathan Fillion, which is bullshit. So I'm out.
Right.
Yeah, this was
How
4
did
months
they?
ago.
That's right.
Yeah. That was so cool. Like that, yeah. I mean, it sucks, but they should make movies. Like some of the cinematics have gotten really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing that. Dragon Quest, still pounding away at that. But I had to take a break for that to play Spider-Man. There's just so much shit now. But,
Well, and it's about to get a whole lot worse because Spider-Man kicked off the whole holiday rush.
I love this time of year.
Yeah. So I wanted to go over
holiday
because there
season
are
I've ever.
a lot of games. Yeah. So why don't we go over what's coming out for holiday? All right, so many games. First off, last week with Spider-Man, Friday kicked off the holiday game rush. This week we have Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, coming out this Friday, and then basically like from this point onward, it gets crazy. September ended up being really like it's a very front-loaded holiday period because Red Dead Redemption 2 got scheduled for late October.
Nobody wants to be in that.
Yeah, for a long time it was the only game scheduled in October. You just sort of saw this empty window around it, just like no one wanted to compete because eventually.
As well, they shouldn't.
Right, because at some point, even if it's a very different genre of game, whatever, you still. Are ultimately competing for the time and dollars of gamers and those, so that everyone's trying to spread it out a little bit where they can.
And we've been waiting so long for the next Red Dead, so it's just it's been such a wait. Plus, it's Rockstar. You know it's going to be good. There's so much anticipation, and the first Red Dead was so fucking good. So
I can't wait. Yeah. It's gonna be so good.
I'm jealous that you're taking off 10 days.
I mean,
I think that's the
I haven't
smartest
taken
move.
Do it, there's still time.
I haven't taken any vacation this year, and like it's been an incredibly bad couple weeks in terms of stress, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take some fucking me time. We're gonna be moved to the end of this month, and then end of October, Red Dead time.
Red Dead
time.
Self-care.
Dude, the next time that I'm taking, like, it's been a while since I've done that, like, take off time to play a game. But, like, all of us who played WoW all together back in the day, like our original guild and like friends that we still have to this day, when WoW Classic comes out, like everyone knows, like we're shipping the kids off to my parents for a week. Everyone's coming into town, and my entire house will be a WoW LAN party for about a week strate. So like,
get back on board with that.
You'll hit like maybe level 30.
Right, I know. Dude, it's gonna be some hardcore grinding, and like, man, people are so not prepared for how long that's gonna take. Man, it's gonna suck. But I'm also excited.
Yeah, those days of like the slow grind was insane. Like I remember just playing for like 2 weeks and be like, I'm level 20. Yes.
Yeah.
I think Bernie hit that in a night when he started again.
If you've ever played like vanilla and then gone to like how Refer a Friend gives you like 3 times experience boost.
And heirloom gear.
Yeah, you can level in like a minute. It's crazy. Or you can just literally buy level 120.
That's true, you can now.
Yeah.
I would gladly do that for vanilla.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of nice that Spider-Man came out when it did, just because it came out, has a week window, then Tomb Raider kind of has its week window.
Yeah.
And so you've got time for that. And also, because the Warcraft expansion came out like at least several weeks ago, so it's like that was, like things have been kind of broken up nicely to this point, although
you got your week to play the shit out of them, and then you got to move on.
Right.
Spider-Man's a perfect weekend game, though.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yes.
It's a good game. I actually like the number of games that are now releasing on Fridays because I'm
best.
like, aha, wonderful. I'm just going to get home and this is my weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
As opposed to being like, well,
Tuesday or
it's
Wednesday.
Tuesday, so I know what I'm doing for an hour or two in the evenings, and then someday, baby, we'll spend some time together.
Red Dead's coming out on a Friday, and that's perfect because then you can take a week off work and it turns into 10 days. Because you have the weekends and caps.
There you go.
And you don't have to worry about it getting spoiled or so. Like you can play along with everybody else.
Yeah.
Whereas I always worry about Tuesday or something. Some fucker's gonna say something on Twitter. It's like, oh, I did not.
I've just avoided Twitter.
Well, that's a good
Twitter
philosophy
sucks.
anyway.
Yeah. Although I guess
You can block words.
No, it doesn't. I just hate Twitter. Twitter's negative. Gav here.
it
I like
depends.
Twitter.
I mean, listen, I think there's a lot of things about Twitter that I like, but I ended up coming home so many times being like, this thing made me mad on Twitter. And I'm like, why am I mad about Twitter? I just need to take a step back.
I'm at the point where I like the internet because I'll cry over stories about animals.
Oh, if I would follow one account on the Twitter, it would be the Dodo.
you've talked about that before, and I'm worried about following it mostly because I cry at everything anyway. Yesterday, I saw a picture of it was like a picture of one of the rescue dogs from 9/11, and it was like this dog like taking a break in this harness between searches, and there was a story about how this was her first rescue thing, and then I was like, oh yeah, and didn't they have to they had to start hiding rescuers because the dogs couldn't find anyone in the wreckage and they got depressed. So then people were hiding so that the dogs would feel better.
Oh, man.
And then this dog, it retired and then it went to be like a support dog for kids who were scared of reading aloud. And so it was like a support dog and it died a few years ago. And so it's just crying about this stupid story. I'm crying again,
I know.
thinking about this stupid story. And so I will cry about happy animal commercials of this dog. This was a terrible thing, but now look at happy and healthy, and I'm like.
Yeah, if you want to have some happy cries, go on the dodo.
Is this the Make Ashley Cry game?
Yep.
What is it?
Okay, here we
Is
go.
it the dodo?
No, I'm just going to r/aw on Reddit. I'm just gonna see.
There's there've been some videos lately
I'll
of
cry.
dogs playing with little babies, and the babies are just laughing their asses off, they're so happy.
The dog is so happy. Look, there's never been a happier
But he's in
dog.
prison.
Well, I mean,
Is this where
He's in prison. What was his crime?
wasn't
He cared.
a good enough
He
boy.
cared too much.
It made me think about what if there was animal jails? What would that be like? Poor animals.
Wait, why am I
I
trying
think
to
there's
go?
also animal shelters.
Listen.
Why am I trying to go the happy route?
If you're a volunteer at a shelter, your job can literally be go pet the animals, which is something I might go do.
All right.
because
Oh,
it
man.
fits my
I
description.
don't know why I went the happy route. I feel like that's way harder, right? So I just Googled sad animals.
No.
No, why are you? Oh
look at
my
how
God, they're
sad they
so
are.
sad.
Manipulative.
Chad, why would you
This
do
is-
this?
this is-
Look at that owl.
This segment is bad for audio
Oh, God,
and
that
video.
cat might actually
No
be
one can
crying.
see this.
That's
Okay, no, no more. Okay, we're gonna talk about video games that we're not crying about, not right now, not today, because Ori and the Blind Forest 2 will not be out until next year, and I
That's
will not cry
so
until
far.
then. I know. So I've been a little bit unfair. Spider-Man didn't actually have its week alone. Forsaken did come out 3 days before it. It did come out on the Tuesday, and technically it also did share a date with NBA 2K19, which came out on Friday as well. I don't follow sports games a lot.
That's gotten some controversy. I think,
Is it really?
yeah, well, just more. Well, NBA 2K18 was really controversial because virtual currency, and you had to spend. It required it for things like haircuts and tattoos and all this shit. And they said, okay, we've learned our lesson. You're going to be able to play for more of this stuff. You're going to be able to earn it through gameplay. But now it turns out they've sort of nerfed the experience you can earn through gameplay.
how many times have we heard this story? Though?
Yeah,
A lot.
You go to they were showing screenshots of the virtual currency, so it looks like a free-to-play game, except one that you paid full price for, and it's just these sports games, especially
games are
they just
really
monetize
susceptible
the
to that.
fucking shit out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
FIFA, they're just some egregious
careful.
offenders.
Don't say FIFA.
Yeah, sorry, don't DMCA us.
That came out, and also NHL 19 is coming out on the 14th as well. So that's sharing a date with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and then we've got here's the just quick list rundown. Black Clover Quartet Nights is hitting PS4, PC on the 14th as well. Insurgency Sandstorm hitting PC on the 18th. Undertale, coming to Switch on the 18th.
What is Black Clover?
Yeah, that's
It's not a game that I follow closely. It's humor. Quartet Nights.
I'm looking at one screenshot. It's anime. Game.
anime.
Yeah,
Got it.
so it's
Got it.
so you're good there. I don't think it's
Based on a very, very
out.
popular
What?
anime.
Nino Kuni didn't turn you?
I like anime,
Yeah.
and I like anime games. But for the most part, and when I say anime games, I like Ni no Kuni and Persona. But I would say for the most part, unless people have talked up an anime game,
Right.
it's probably not for me. But I just got done catching up on My Hero. That show's so fucking good.
Yeah, it is. Really, really good.
Yeah, but it's like a RPG action adventure anime.
Okay.
And then we've got so the new Labo, the vehicle kit, is
What?
also hitting on the 14th.
you-
for
I haven't
Switch.
seen. I have not
Are you-
seen.
are you
You make
getting that?
vehicles?
Yeah, it's a new vehicle kit.
Full
So
size.
they did their two initial releases, and now they've got this vehicle one that's coming out specially.
Is this how you get your Challenger? You just make it out of cardboard.
Are you getting the vehicle kit? I want to build some more of these.
We still have some of them that we haven't built, and I bought for us the robot one, but it's still in its box.
Oh yeah, I keep
If you want to build the robot
That
one,
one
we can do that.
seems- that one seems
this is the
intense.
vehicle kit. You can build your own like wheels and stuff. And,
You were thinking like a Power Wheel.
I was. For some reason, I was thinking like a Power Wheels. I'm like, man, they're really getting elaborate with this.
Some strong cardboard.
Labo go-kart.
See, but right here, like, is that the stick shift on the side? Like, wouldn't you just knock this shit off? Like,
You tape it down, double-sided tape, or like a suction cup
I guess. I don't know.
Put weights
to your
in it.
flat,
haven't messed with
square
Labo at all.
couch.
Let's see what else is coming out. Blind is going to be PlayStation VR, PC. Also the 18th. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, the Golden Country for Switch.
Ooh, I might have to get that.
Valkyria Chronicles 4
Yes.
is
That's gonna be
PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 25th. Pathfinder Kingmaker is PC the 25th. Life is Strange 2, the first episode drops, and that's PS4, Xbox One, PC on the 27th. FIFA 19, Don't DMCA us on the 28th. And then Dragon Ball Fighters on the Switch on the 28th. And that's just September.
Yeah.
That's a good month.
It's a good month.
Dragon Ball Fighters is real good.
I don't know what I would buy out of that list. Maybe
Valkyria Chronicles.
Tomb Raider.
And that's
I don't know.
reviewing very well. Tomb Raider is reviewing pretty well. The Tomb rating is well received. Everyone's like, I still don't like Lara. I don't really care. Like they haven't done much to make her a really compelling.
I like that. The first reboot, it was like, wow, she's badass.
Well, this I
didn't
guess
play Rise.
this is Did you play the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time?
Oh fuck
games?
yes.
Okay, so there's Sands of Time, and then what was the second one?
Warrior Within.
Warrior Within, where he just suddenly was like, I like rock music and guideline.
That was dumb.
So this is apparently like kind of that.
Oh, they transform her character into
Well, just like this is like this is like her darkest point, and this
Spider-Man 3
wraps up the origin trilogy for Lara Croft. So everyone's saying the tomb raiding part is really really great, but
Not a fan of her character.
yeah, like the character and the like story lead through is just not as strong as a result because you're like, well. Do I care about her? Do I need this to like lead through? Maybe not. But hey, great tomb raiding.
Yeah.
And then there's still bow and arrow, but then there's also like gunplay.
Mm-hmm.
But what people are saying that's like not super balanced. We get early copies of some games to be able to play through. And some games we don't. We don't have a super strong relationship with Square Enix, which I'd love to fix before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. Square Enix.
Oh man.
So we don't have early copies of that. Oh, dope.
Yeah,
Because you're the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Anyway, but also I guess I think Square Enix might manage their sort of like Western developed games and their Japanese developed games as almost like completely separate business
of
units.
companies,
So so we'll see about that. But unfortunately, didn't get to play Tomb Raider to offer our own insights yet. But I'm sure we can talk about that next week.
That game reminded me of something real quick. Back when this was like a premiere game for NVIDIA Hairworks and
I remember that.
Tress Effects. Was that as big of a deal as RTX is being made out to be? Is it something like is RTX just gonna be like meh?
I think it was one of those like selling points. Like think of this, you can manipulate the physics of each strand of hair individually.
I remember turning that on and being like, wow, I have no FPS.
I remember. I seem to also recall it would everyone would turn it off because the hair would just go.
Yeah, it was definitely like
it was like that's not
like
how
zero G hair.
hair works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So October. Is it, for a while, it seemed like Red Dead was going to have it to itself, and then everything was like, no, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So Forza Horizon 4, which I'm super excited about.
There's a demo coming out today for that
Yeah,
game.
that's right. I want to go
play
play that.
yeah.
Forza Horizon 3 is where I got into that franchise, and it kind of took me by surprise because I was like, well, I liked older arcade racers, like I liked PGR. Like PGR 3 was one of my favorite 360
PGR
games, and it was just so
very
much
good.
fun. And then I was like, well, I'll check out Forza Horizon, I guess, and played it, and then hours later would be like, what is happening to me? I found my game, because it basically took racing games and then turned them into an open world RPG. And I don't know, and they had a great soundtrack. Might be a little bit like it. I'll be curious to see Forza Horizon 4 if it hits me as hard, because one thing about 3 that I really liked was it was based in Australia, and I could be like, this area and these things, and they're all just like these kind of nice
There's my
things where I'm like,
house.
yeah, there's my house. Exactly, that was mine. And so it had that element of just sort of like personal, I don't know, like emotional investment or something for me. So I really liked it.
Yeah.
Whereas, I've never lived in the UK and I won't be able to see things and be like, yes.
Well, maybe after you go to
stone
London.
wall thing. Maybe I'll come back from RTX London and be like, I understand it all now. But I'm still really excited about it because the Horizon series is just great. What I've played of it, so I'm.
It'll be good for.
I wanna try it out.
It'll be good for Xbox One to have a nice exclusive.
Well,
Yeah.
you see,
And PC.
Let's give them one. Right?
Well, no, those players deserve it.
So it's the Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is coming for PlayStation 4. Also on the 2nd. Also Mega Man 11 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
I played the
also
demo.
on the
It
2nd.
looks good.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey 3 days later on the 5th. Super Mario Party for the
Yes.
Switch also on the 5th.
Please don't suck.
I
Please
really
don't
want
suck.
Mario Party to be good.
Like-
I need it to ruin my.
Be good
Yes.
Super Mario
It,
Party,
like,
not bad.
None of this work together for stars bullshit. No, I want cutthroat friendship ending, rivalry, and pain and suffering.
I just want fun mini games. That's all. Just give me some fun mini games.
I want Rage.
Yes.
Disgaea 1 Complete for PlayStation 4, Switch on the 9th. WWE 2K19 for PS4, Xbox One, PC, also the 9th. The Occupation, which is a game I'm not super familiar with, but it is coming for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, also on the 9th. Child of Light is finally coming to Switch, which I think is a really great place for it because that's a great game. On the 11th, Luigi's Mansion for 3DS, October 12th.
Wait a second. Oh, 3DS. Okay.
3DS, yeah. World Ends With You, the final remix for Switch, also the 12th.
That'll be
Call of Duty
great
Black
on
Ops
Switch.
4, also the 12th.
Apparently the blackout mode is really good.
Yeah,
Everyone's
saying
loved
really
it.
great
Yeah.
things that
The blackout mode.
So Blackout is Black Ops 4's Battle Royale mode.
Okay.
And they've been making some adjustments through the beta, so this might be outdated actually by the time this episode even comes out for people. But they just launched the beta, getting really good response. They've used the information to make changes to the balance already. Like they've sped up how quickly you can pick things up off the ground. They've increased the player count from 80 players to 88 players.
Yeah, they've
and
been
it also
changing some cooldowns and stuff already, so that's really cool to see.
But the mechanics have been really well received. So you wingsuit in, and there are these areas where you can go to scavenge for resources, but you may also be fighting zombies for them. So there's a PvE element there as well, which is very cool. And everyone.
Like his name is Wah Wah Wee Wah. That's a Borat reference.
There you go.
So everyone's just basically saying really nice things. I talked to James Willems from Funhouse. They had been playing it, and he said they really like it as well. So
My favorite quote was my friend was just like, "It's like PUBG, but a complete game." I was like, not to hate on PUBG. I
keep
love
in mind,
PUBG. PUBG's
developed
But
by a
they've had
AAA.
people,
right,
studio.
exactly.
Yeah.
PUBG has not been doing so hot. Just dipped below 1 million concurrent players, which is terrible.
I was like,
terrible.
still 1 million concurrent players.
Totally.
Like that. Like even with like Fortnite coming in and
just in terms of
taking
press,
all the
though.
buzz, still.
With this on the horizon,
In
this
terms-
isn't
That's true.
bad.
Well,
Yeah.
people are actually speculating that this, because the beta started for
PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4, it started earlier, that may have accounted for the dip that doesn't
Do you think they're going to sue
PUBG players?
Sue Call of Duty?
No.
Bluehole?
I mean, they sued
No,
the
I don't
people who own their engine, so
They dropped that though. They're like, okay, this was done. My bad.
Please let us keep using the engine.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing is like I get it. I think Epic being like, I think we can do this, and then just sort of taking it and being like, oh, and we'll do it for free. Ta-da! I think like you could make some arguments that was it wasn't really cool, bro. But sue-worthy, unfortunately, like you can't like copyright the specific mechanics or anything. So yes,
Especially
technically
considering they
anyone
weren't
can
the
make.
first one either. They weren't.
They were not. Anyway, we've also, so that's up through the 12th. Then Lego DC Supervillains is PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC on the 16th. Starlink Battle for Atlas, that's the one where you can get like the physical ships. And the Switch version has Star Fox, which is pretty cool. That's going to be PS4, Xbox One, Switch. Also the 16th, Warriors Orochi 4. PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Also the 16th.
Good lord.
For Honor has their Marching Fire coming out, also on the 16th. A couple days later, on the 19th, Soul Calibur 6 for PS4, Xbox One, PC. Dark Souls Remastered is going to be on the Switch.
4 months late.
Yeah, on the 19th.
May or something.
And then the game that I know
4.5
we've
months.
all actually been waiting for in October, which is Just Dance 2019. That's actually, this is amazing. It's coming out for the Wii.
That's wild.
Wait,
I mean,
for the Wii?
Yeah, so it's PS4, Xbox One,
Wii U.
Switch,
Okay.
and then
And
Wii U, Wii, and 360.
I think
The Wii. Well, keep in mind though, like if you think about it, the Wii is that sort of console that a ton of people just bought, and people that don't necessarily play
Still
games,
have it
but also
underneath
Just
the TV.
Dance as a game is sort of targeted
That's true.
at that same sort of audience, so it's still relevant. They're like, wait,
I
still
think
got
mine
your
still has
Wii,
the
why wouldn't we?
Netflix disc in it.
Oh my god.
Also, not everybody's like us. Like, I still have friends that just play PS3 games that are, that aren't up on the new releases, but they'll play the shit out of, I don't know.
And you
G-Red.
admit to being friends with them, Brian?
They're all broke comics. So.
And then, let's see, My Hero 1's Justice,
Not a
PS4,
My Hero
Xbox One,
Academia game, I just
Switch,
looked.
PC, on the 26th. And then the game that is
Peace.
yay,
I'm out.
very exciting. Red Dead Redemption 2, PS4, Xbox One, October 26th. Still no word of a PC release. They'll probably do something like they did with GTA, where sometime early next year, maybe it gets a PC release. Red Dead Redemption never did get a PC release, so maybe not.
Not holding my breath.
But it does make sense, and I think we saw in some ratings somewhere that it was rated for PC as well. So maybe it's covering bases. That it's just they want to do that double dip.
Yeah.
Because it worked out very well for them with GTA.
I would say now that GTA Online became such a long-running thing, I think there's a lot more of a chance for them to make it on PC, because they wouldn't want to miss that opportunity to have such a their install base on PC is huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be, for me, that's the one that everything else is gonna fall away for.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of want to play Red Dead Redemption again because it has that Xbox One X update.
Oh, fuck.
So like high-res textures and everything, and so I'm kind of maybe it's hard to go back to some of those games because I remember having such an incredible experience with it. Like that was one of the few games that I didn't really want to fast travel. I would just get on my horse and I would ride across, and I'd be like go through a crazy storm, and then it'd come out, and then there's a sunset, and then I'm riding with the stars above, and it was just even just riding around with absolutely nothing happening was such a beautiful experience that I got so immersed in that game.
It just felt so living, too. Things would happen.
Yeah,
and,
like a donkey skinned like a woman.
Leading up to that game, I watched every single Western I could find, and I played Red Dead Revolver. I watched so many fucking Western movies, man. I might do that again. I might go on a Western the week before.
You come in with a cowboy hat.
Yeah, watch Unforgiven, what's Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Also, some of the newer Westerns I
Magnificent
really
Seven.
enjoy.
310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma
Super
is
great.
a brilliant, more recent Western. Would you classify Hateful Eight as a Western?
I would classify it as like a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a period
They got
Western.
cowboy
It's
hats
just got
on, and
I guess it is.
stagecoaches
Riding horses.
and
It doesn't.
rifles.
It doesn't
and stuff.
fit like the bill, but it definitely fits the time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
almost
mean,
like
if you
a
want to
play.
stretch it, you can have that. But I think 310 to Yuma is. The recent True Grit was also very good. So there's lots of movies you can watch to really get in the.
310 to Yuma, that Russell Crowe one.
Yeah, I think it was Russell Crowe, right?
It's Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And
I think Russell Crowe's the bag. Or the,
Yeah.
bringing
So
in.
310 to Yuma. Wow. 310.
you had it right.
I did have it right.
But when you do it wrong,
Other good westerns. OG Magnificent Seven is great. The Wild Bunch, which is kind of what Red Dead Redemption 2 seems like, kind of based on.
Definitely avoid the ridiculous six.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst movie I've ever seen.
So yeah, Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, Logan Lerman, Dallas Roberts, Ben Foster, Peter Fonda, Vanessa Shaw, Alan Tudyk, who I love.
I love Ben Foster, man.
Alan
Tudyk,
Rains,
I can't
Gretchen
look at him.
Mol, who's also amazing, Lenny Lofton, Rio Alexander.
Leaf in the
Just
Wind.
it's a Ouch.
Yes.
No, I can't look at Alan Tudyk.
Why would you do that?
Every time I see Alan Tudyk, I just see Marcus. It's insane how similar they look.
They do
they
have
do.
a very similar
do.
look, yeah. But that was such a good movie, man. No, I'm just thinking about it.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna cry. So
like in-
moving right along.
It's like in Casino
Stupid
Royale. I
Serenity.
couldn't watch it because the love interest in Casino Royale looks like my sister.
You're like,
Hey,
"Ugh."
who's the love interest? I'm trying to think.
She was like
His
a
sister.
brunette, but
That's the same actress. She's in Penny Dreadful as well.
yeah.
Ava Green?
Yes.
Was that the love interest in that movie?
Wait, am I thinking of the right one? Wait, maybe
I
I'm
don't
not.
remember
Hold
her
on.
name. I just remember being freaked out and I couldn't go.
Casino
I
Royale.
can't. I literally watched
Yeah, I think
Casino
that was
Royale
Ava
3
Green.
weeks ago. Cannot picture what the love interest.
She's like a brunette,
She's got like the.
light eyes.
It is Ava Green. You're right.
It is evergreen. Okay, I'm not crazy. All right. There's a lot.
Your sister looks like Ava Green?
She's just like, it's not that she looks no offense to my
So
sister. It's not, but like,
Basically,
there's
what you're
just
saying is your
enough-
sister's super hot.
She was definitely the ones where like dude friends of mine, like we're 3.5 years apart, but dude friends of mine would be like, hey, what's up with it? It's like, oh, fuck yourself. Get up.
Nice.
She's got a movie to shoot.
Yeah. So then we get into November, which it starts off a little like November starts a little bit slower because everything was still trying to clear room. So it's Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun. So it's Switch and then there's like a drum session. So there's a Switch version and a PS4 version. Overkill's Walking Dead is on the 6th. And then The Forest for PS4 on the 6th. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is also the 6th. Ride 3, which I'm not following super closely, but that's on
Wait,
the 8th.
is that? So that's not like Tony Hawk Ride, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Valiant Hearts is also coming to Switch. So that's like Valiant Hearts and oh no.
I know which one. you're thinking of.
We just talked about coming to Switch.
We have not.
And
we
it's
haven't seen it.
watercolor and it's Child of Light. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
with
you.
the
Where
UV
the UV art games, yeah. So that's the other one coming to Switch. Hitman 2, the 13th. SNK's 40th anniversary collection on the Switch on the 13th. Spyro Reignited on the 13th since that got delayed.
Finally.
If it doesn't get delayed
Yeah.
any further,
And they sent because Jeremy is such a huge
Yeah, I was
fan.
gonna say, Julie was
They
that.
sent a cake to Off Topic.
Yep.
And I don't know. It was really weird seeing that cake in the kitchen afterwards because it's like its eyes were removed and like
Yeah.
bits like cut out of the middle and then there's just like this dragon sitting here being really sad. And so we
You ever
ate the
seen
rest of it.
Spyro?
have you ever gotten a cake
It's
for
pretty messed up.
Smash Bros?
Was that?
Have you ever gotten
No.
a cake? I want a cake for Dark Souls. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
Where are all our cakes?
our cakes?
Right? And then one of the big ones, one of the highlights for November, Fallout 76, that's going to be on the 14th.
Fuck.
So
Enjoy your Red Dead while you can.
you got a
I've
solid,
kind of the big
you got a solid 2-3 weeks there.
you go.
I think that might be as a lot of people are starting to wrap it up. And then, but the Underworld Ascendant for PC on the 15th. Pokemon Let's Go is coming out on the 16th.
Team Eevee.
Yeah, Team Eevee?
Yeah.
Nice. Civ 6, which I'm actually really curious to see, is hitting Switch.
That's a good
also
port.
on the
That'll
16th.
be fun.
Yeah, it's so hard to
go.
get like a proper strategy game going on console with those sorts of controls. So we'll see. I
just use
want
the
it to be really
touch
good
screen.
because I love Civ.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And then Battlefield 5, since that got delayed, is now coming out on the 20th. So it delayed out of the sandwich between Call of Duty and Red Dead Redemption 2 to come out a couple days
that's
after.
the last
But still
Fallout.
capitalize on holiday sales.
Yes. And then Wreckfest, the 20th. Darksiders 3, which I feel like
Excited.
has been...
Really?
I'm excited, but I feel like it's been oddly
So quiet.
Don't feel like that's been pushed
Yeah.
or talked about nearly as much as I would expect, considering it is coming out in November on the 27th.
The second Darksiders, a lot of people did not like the second Darksiders for whatever reason, but I fucking loved it.
That's when we follow the Horseman, right?
Yeah, and it was like
Sean
this
is
very.
like the biggest fan of it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like there's randomized loot. There's like legendaries to collect. They can make incredibly fun builds. Like that game was good. I'm excited for 3.
That was THQ, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, yeah, when they
now
got-
it's under
THQ
THQ Nordic,
Which
is not the same company.
Yeah,
It
they
has
bought
the
it
name.
and changed their name.
Yeah, kind of like Infogrames and Atari.
Right. By the way, before you move on,
Yep.
you skipped the final game in October, and it's very important.
I'm
that we
sorry.
call out.
Let me go back to
Oh,
Call
that
of
is an
Cthulhu, the
important
official game.
Listen,
On the
that
30th,
game looks.
my bad.
That game looks awesome.
I apologize
Oh, really?
for skipping that.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I just saw that in its title was the official video game. So
Well, I
mean,
think it's probably
it
a
makes it
licensing
really
thing. That
official.
game looks awesome.
really?
I'm a super big Lovecraft fan, and I want to play it, but I'm really scared of stuff. So maybe not, but maybe I'll watch someone play it. But
Well,
it looks
also
really
because
good.
it comes out just,
Yeah, 4 days after.
days.
well,
Yeah.
then I'll just eat my own snarky words. My bad.
And then
the Dota 2 card game, the one you're looking for.
Artifact is coming out the 28th. December actually pretty quiet, but then
Yeah.
people are like,
Yep.
we're done.
Except
If we
for
had a
one
holiday
important
game,
thing.
Yeah,
well,
Persona
yes. With
Take
the-
this console bundle.
Oh no, a couple exceptions. So Just Cause 4 on the 4th.
Exciting.
Oh, that's cool.
Excited to blow shit
Persona,
up.
the Persona 3 and 5 dancing games for PS4 and Vita, also on the 4th.
I mean, I assume those are just ports from Japan or something like that.
I mean, yeah. They're Persona has this really weird family of games. There's the Persona games, and then they release these rhythm dancing games around them, where they're able to like reuse a lot of assets and do almost like their version of a Comet release, where they're like, we didn't have to make all new assets necessarily for this, but then they put out these sort of like rhythm dancing games. They're okay.
You ever play Arena? Didn't they have
fighting
like the fighting
Oh
game?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
That's
that's
fun.
the fighting one. So they sort of got the. I think there are also some Persona characters in the new
Yep.
Blaze Blue.
Yeah, it's Blazer Cross Tag Battle.
Yeah, there we go.
Along with the Ruby characters.
That's right. And then the big one for December is Super Smash Brothers
Yes.
Ultimate on the 7th, and then that sort of caps the year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
So
games.
excited for Smash.
It's a lot of games, and there's a lot of big games.
It is weird that no games are releasing in the second 3 week or the 3 end weeks of December.
Well, it can be difficult.
I get
Because they're
it.
all trying to
It's
like get their
Christmas,
sales
but-
in and everything, and everyone's like, "Well, you've probably done your shopping for by this point." So
that's
we'll just
kinda good.
instead
Enjoy
they're all just
holiday
coming
season.
out February
22nd.
22nd.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, we didn't make
They just
didn't make
posted.
December, February 22nd. It is." Although then the Kingdom Hearts 3 in January, I'm so excited. Unless that slips, don't slip. Please don't slip. But
put it
lots
out
of
there.
games. I did. I've put my worry out into the world, and hopefully nothing happens with it. But we'll see. Okay, really quick. I don't want to go crazy, but we do have a couple news items to talk about. So shall we get into the news? First up, Nintendo Switch Online. That is rolling out within the next week. It is going to cost $20 per year, and they're doing some weird stuff with it. One of the big selling points for the Nintendo Switch Online subscription is, well, one is they're like, here, you can play these NES games. We'll sort of have like this library, and they'll have like co-op or online functionality of some kind. But then one of the other things is, here is your cloud save backups, finally, because one of the weird choices that the Switch made is that save games are stored on the console itself. They aren't stored on the SD card, so you can't take it out. They're not stored on game cartridges even. So even if you have the physical versions of games, the saves are on the Switch. So if something happens to the Switch hardware, God help you, you are fucked.
So dumb.
And so one of the selling points, at least for me, and maybe because this has been more important to me, I am overblowing it. I don't know, you guys tell me. One of the big selling points is these cloud save backups, where you'll be able to back up your save games so that if something happens to the hardware, you'll be okay.
That's because you stack like a million save files.
I do stack million save files. Well, I travel a lot, so I worry that my console is at increased risk of being left behind or lost in some way, or something happening to it,
Right.
where I could lose that. And I've had things happen in the past. I had a 3DS. Coffee got spilled in it,
You're screwed.
and sent it in for repair and like lost all. I mean, it was 3DS, so because it saved things differently. I didn't lose save games and everything. I did lose all my Street Pass data, and that was that was really hard for me. I really liked Street Pass on 3DS.
Traveled internationally, because then you feel like you've really oh, when's that gonna happen again? You know.
But yeah, just like having stuff reset because of the hardware. And this is always like cloud saves didn't used to be a thing, and we all lived, we survived, we got by.
It's better now. They figured it out.
Yeah, Xbox. I think Xbox is my favorite cloud save. Well, Xbox and Steam, just because you don't think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You go and you download the game and you're like, oh, a new console, whatever, download the game, whatever. It syncs your saves and you're good.
It frustrates
Don't think
me
about it.
when Steam doesn't require, it's not a requirement on Steam to
No,
use cloud saves.
it's optional.
So it's like when you don't realize it and they don't do it, it's frustrating. But I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't. But I'm sure
There
there's
will
a
be
reason.
certain games like on the Switch that also will not have cloud saves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is a bummer.
That's the weird
And
thing.
big games too.
That's the
Pokemon
weird
and
catch with this.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
So
Pokemon's not gonna have it.
Pokemon Let's Go is not going to have online cloud save backups.
Well, that seems like the most important one.
Right.
Like for
That's
your
the one you're
collecting
I
your
know.
Pokemon
Yeah.
and spending all your time training them, and like, oh my god, that'll
The
be awful.
excuse for this is in certain games, this feature would make it possible to, for instance, regain items that have been traded to other players or revert to a higher online multiplayer ranking that have been lost. So it seems like something with like their online games.
Man,
They said
that's
So
weird
first
that
of
all
all-
other games have been able to tackle this.
Exactly.
First of all, it's like I feel like
Listen, Nintendo just figured out the internet, okay?
online rankings is such a weird one because it seems like if anything, that ought to be saved on Nintendo's side. Why would your online ranking be in your local save?
Also, cheating is rampant on their games. I remember playing Wii Mario Kart. There were just people
yeah.
obviously hacking and doing all this shit. So it's like to now act like they're concerned about it is a little rich coming from them.
Real rich
It's
Nintendo.
rich Nintendo. That is an
Who
old
do
guy
you
saying.
think you are?
I am old.
Yeah, so the games that come out so far are Splatoon 2 won't have it, Dark Souls Remastered won't have it, a certain soccer game with 19 in the title won't have it,
DMCA 19.
and a lot of people are speculating that Smash Bros. Isn't going to have it.
Yeah, so there's
Why?
and I think
Unless
for
we build
Pokemon they're like, hey, you might be able
leaderboards,
to
I guess.
duplicate stuff,
Yeah, I can
whatever.
see that.
And that's actually I think the reason that they also don't currently have save games stored on the SD card is because then you could theoretically take it out, play new PC, hack around a
it,
bit,
yeah.
and change things. So they're like, this way they've got it locked down.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like if you're gonna do this and it's gonna be a paid for service. I support paid online services to some degree. Obviously, PC has shown that you can have solid online experiences and deliver those without charging for them. But I feel like PSN got way better.
Yeah, it did.
Once they introduced
No
PlayStation Plus, because they were like, all right, well, now we've got all these additional funds, and they reinvest them into the platform.
Yeah. God, you remember those arguments? Like when I was playing on 360 and then people with PS3s and like, oh well,
It's free.
It's free. I'm like, yeah, but it sucks. Like I'm happy to pay for the experience I was getting on the 360. So yeah, they've made good strides with the PS4.
So it's like you can get value out of having this be subscription based, but it has to be good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the expectation there is that it needs to be worth paying for. It is like a third of the price
But
for the other consoles.
It just feels like all the news that's come out is about what it can't do. And that's not a great look. You can't cloud save Pokemon.
They're having a press conference that got delayed till tomorrow.
Yeah, the direct, they say they'll
So
mention more.
Yeah, so this might be a thing that is outdated. Maybe they're gonna be like, hey, we figured things out magically.
We'll see.
And by the time this episode comes out, it's all wrong. That would be my greatest wish.
The other info I'm still seeing here is also all activity will be managed through the online app, which is a downloadable app to your phone. So we'll see how that handles. We
Right,
saw
so kind of like how
Splatoon's-
you have to have an app on your phone to do chat.
Yeah, they're going to say something like, yeah, you can cloud save your game if you have the amiibo that comes along with it or something Nintendo-y.
That would be awful. We've switched. Forget cloud saving. It's amiibo saving. We've just gone back
Save
to
it on
memory
your
cards.
amiibo.
Backed
You know, like-
That's totally something they would do.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a weird choice. Also, I imagine that by the time this episode comes out and they've done the direct, maybe they'll have shared the other games that are going to be part of the NES library, because they've got this sort of classic games library, and they said there's going to be like 20 games.
Yep.
They've announced what 10 of them are, but the other 10 are like, And we also don't know if they're going to like rotate games in and out of the library. There's a lot about that we don't know yet. That hey, we probably will.
It's their usual lineup that they roll out. It's what they did. Like, remember the 3DS ambassador?
Oh yeah, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of free games.
This is a lot of that squad.
The 10 we know so
being rolled
far:
out
Ice
here.
Climbers, The Legend of Zelda, Balloon Fight, Soccer, Tennis, Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros, Dr. Mario, Super Mario Bros 3, and Donkey Kong.
It's all about that balloon fight, though, right?
No Excite Bike.
Not on here. We got 10 more games though. Who knows?
Yeah,
coming.
so we'll see what ends up happening there, but I feel like so far it's a start, but it could be better, and I would want it to be better because it's now a paid subscription service, and that comes with
Expectations.
Yeah. So that's that. The other thing, let's talk about EA and loot boxes. So, Belgium and the Netherlands recently ruled, hey, loot boxes absolutely constitute gambling. They're not going to be allowed here. If you want to continue selling your games, you need to remove loot boxes. So a lot of companies have. Overwatch has removed the loot boxes for Belgian players. You can't just buy loot boxes anymore.
Weird, but you're not receiving any monetary value back.
Well, it depends on how you want to classify it. It is still sort of like pulling the slot. You're spending money to get a thing that you don't know what that thing is.
Yeah, I can see.
And,
They argue,
like,
that since you're paying real money and it's randomized.
Yeah. So
That's weird.
Valve's what Valve ended up doing with Dota 2 is the way they do is they just show you what the loot box, the next loot box is going to be like, what's going to be in it, so that you know what you're buying, you know what you're getting.
Right.
So that's the ruling, and they gave companies a certain period of time to comply. I believe that time has now passed, and so a lot of companies, they did it. They just disabled loot boxes for Belgian players. EA.
Sorry, I was gonna say, did a bunch of people, did they drop prices first? Like, that's what I was doing. They're like, hey, loot boxes are going away. They're all half off for the next month before we hit compliance, and then to see how many.
Sale,
Yeah, exactly.
Like car dealerships.
Exactly.
Where the new
Everything
models
must go. EA though says that they're like, we don't think that it's gambling. We disagree. We are, and we'll work with regulatory bodies and discuss this, but no, we're not removing them. So some Belgian newspapers are reporting that the case has now been referred to the public prosecutors as a result, and that they may end up in court for this violation.
EA's like, we got more money than Belgium. We can fight this.
He's like, the courtroom, that's no stranger to us. Like,
We have been there a time or two. So they're from what it sounds like willing to go to court to defend the loot boxes, especially because like they got FIFA 19 coming out. If they can just, I'm sorry, yes, they have a soccer game, football game coming out.
Could you show some clips from the soccer game?
All right, so I was talking
video.
around a lot, but this morning we got we did a standalone news report on this story, basically, just that it's been referred to the prosecutor's office and that EA could end up in court defending it. And there was a DMCA block on the video that made it so no one in the world can watch this video. Here's the thing. It's actually not EA that issued this, which is weird. It's the European Football League, but it is based on a FIFA 19 trailer clip.
Like the
So the EFL.
This is developing, so we'll see what happens. We're definitely going to go to EA and be like, excuse me, does the EFL have have the authority to issue copyright takedowns on your behalf? Like on FIFA footage, which I'm sure that they don't. EA has done many things, but they have never issued a takedown on any of the many stories that we have done criticizing some of their business practices.
did you guys already go into dispute?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. This just happened.
Okay.
That's actually why we were recording this podcast a little bit later in the morning than expected. Is because that happened, and then now we got to get all this stuff going.
But it's shitty when it comes to news because it's like, okay, you've taken, you take the story down and it's like news gets stale pretty quick. So.
Well, and this is just an increasing trend with YouTube.
Yes.
it's never been a really easy system for people who have videos claimed to deal with. Rooster Teeth is luckier than most. We have channel partner managers at YouTube that we can contact and go, hey, what the fuck?
Right.
And we can contact EA and be like, yo, what's up?
Right.
Is this? Do you agree with this? And so we have. Like, we're set up for more success than a lot of people on YouTube in a lot of ways. But even for us these days, we're constantly getting, we got a copyright where they don't take the video down, but they then take all the monetization for it.
Yep.
For using a 10-second bit of a Swamp Thing trailer while talking about Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Which you would think falls under fair use. However, fair use is a defense in court. It's not like automatically applied.
Yeah, fair use is always determined on a case-by-case basis anyway. Right. And so, yeah, that's always fun getting to deal with that. Like, and generally, like, if we get hit at ScrewTech, I just, I'll take a look at it. And if it was something, if for some reason our editor used a piece of music that we weren't supposed to, then I'm like, shit, all right, well, there goes the monetization on that. You're right, that was our bad, we shouldn't have done that. Which we don't do at all anymore. But then, if it's something like that, like we've been flagged on our podcast a lot, like if we're talking about something, because we used to then just show the footage, which we don't do anymore, we usually throw it behind, because that helps remove that kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of times they'll just flag, because the sad truth is a lot of these companies, when they just it doesn't cost them anything to flag a video. And
there's no penalty if it turns out that it was incorrect.
Exactly, there's no penalty whatsoever. So it's profitable for them to just be like, yeah, sure, hey, that was our footage, so throw it up there, even though it totally falls under we're discussing it and it's fine. If I didn't take that action, and I'm sure if you think of this on a much broader scale, there's a probably good percentage of people who just take it, right? And then they get their money. So it's very interesting. I looked into this a lot because there's also there are companies that have formed to specifically go to rights holders who wouldn't care or don't understand YouTube very well, and they literally go to them and be like, hey, here's what's up.
We'll claim
sign with us, and we're gonna go find all these people that are taking your content or pieces of your content and putting it up, and we're gonna get their money, and we're gonna take a percentage, but you wouldn't have known about this anyway, so we'll give you this.
You come out ahead.
Right. And that's a legitimate service, and that makes sense. But then there's also some other companies that have just literally started just flagging. They'll just go and manually flag however they got to that ability to get the power, just to see. Because again, there's a percentage of people.
Like the patent trolls.
That's what I was going to say.
There are people who go around and find videos that are have a significant viewership that are still climbing, and then if they think they can they'll manually flag it or things like that. It's a whole deal.
Yeah, and there are a lot of legitimate uses of DMCA content ID even, which is I know that Rooster Teeth uses them as well. We have a lot of animated shows in particular now that just straight up aren't being released on YouTube, and so we have basically filters set up to say did someone post this to YouTube? Well, you can't do that. You're just straight up reposting our episodes, and that's not cool. And we'll pull those down. And same thing for people who are just posting up TV shows or movies, whatever. There's a lot of really legitimate reasons to have these sorts of filters that would at the very least say, hey, we think this is yours. Is this yours? Mm-hmm. But the automation point, it's just got to that point where it seems really overzealous. It seems like there's nothing that you can do if you dispute something and they go, no, it's still ours. And they just go, all right, well, this is the result unless you want to go to court over it. Right. Which most YouTube creators can't and won't do. So I don't know, it's gotten crazy. I think we're going to be focusing a lot more and this is across Rooster Teeth, but even we're one of the more YouTube focused groups just because it's all very timely and it's topic based. So it's hey, we're talking about whatever is coming up. And so we don't have the same kind of exclusive release windows as a lot of entertainment stuff, because if we release news 24 hours earlier on the site, we may not as well have a YouTube, because by then it's way, way, way too late. Mm-hmm. But I think we may start getting to a point too where we're well, maybe we do roundups on YouTube, and maybe other stuff we just have on our site, and start to build a site presence outside of YouTube, because YouTube is just in a bad place. Yeah. Just across the board, views are falling, discoverability is way, way down, monetization is down, and copyright claim filters are going bonkers. So those are up, And it's just not a really healthy place to be right now.
Well, and you're beholden to another company. You don't control what changes that they make at any time. So they make a change to the algorithm, which changes how your content is served up, and it can drastically affect one of your shows. So in the recent algorithm change, for example, like we got hit really hard on top 10s because whatever they changed now made YouTube determine what it feels people want to see. And so when we have this incredibly fortunate lightning in a bottle show death battle, which is just titanic, and every time we release it, it's going to get 1 million views in like a day or two, right? But then we have all of our other content, which still performs well, and people want to see that. But because they're stacked next to death battle, it's like, oh, well, people want to see death battle because clearly it has more viewership. So we'll serve that everywhere. But
ignore all the
top 10s. Yeah, we're just not going to suggest that anymore. And top 10 is a show that like lives off of suggested videos because anybody, you don't even have to subscribe to us. You can just see that on the side. Oh, like top 10, worst comic moments. That's funny. I want to check that out, right? And so when the algorithm changed, we got a 30% drop in suggested videos, which just like murdered our viewership on top 10. And so we were digging our way out of the hole, and then even just like releasing another show on the channel, like we've been doing bloopers, and I've noticed that that's effect because adding Death Battle bloopers, it's getting more viewership, and so it wants to serve that over other pieces of content. It's just like being beholden to something that you don't control is a very, very scary feeling.
Well, not only something that you don't control, but there's no transparency about how it works,
right.
Which YouTube doesn't want to share because they don't want people like
I don't think
being like,
I
know exactly how to game the system.
Yeah.
But it does mean that everyone is sort of shooting in the dark, which is really difficult. And platforms can change, and that affects your livelihood. I remember there was a much older YouTube shift where this was a couple years ago. They moved from monetizing based on views to monetizing based on watch time.
Yep.
And a lot of that was to try to cut down on sort of like the clickbait that would be like,
yes, you can't
hey,
be like, oh, look.
naked boobs. And then you click and it's just like not remotely even like what that video is about.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. Got the
Not
view,
what I was
got the
promised.
monetization. So they shifted to watch time, which is like, hey, if you're clicking on a video, then you keep watching it, then you wanted to watch that video. So that makes sense. But you had animation channels where it's very high effort to create even a minute of animation, and so suddenly, because they're only a minute, they got absolutely trounced on watch time, didn't monetize well anymore, and it basically killed the animation scene on YouTube overnight.
Plus, it also chooses just when to serve things up based on frequency. So like if you're posting something every day, it's a lot better for your channel and it'll spread a lot more, right? Because your channel is current and active. With animation, when it takes a really long time, some people were posting these incredible things, but they can only do it like once every month or once every 3 months, right? And because of that, it's really hard for it to get spread around unless like they have a very, very passionate subscriber base who then immediately goes in and watches the shit out of that thing, and then it'll start serving it around. Yep, there's a lot about YouTube. Screw Attack is a very, very, very YouTube centric part of our business. Like that is like 99% of what we do. Like we're trying, to help convert more people over into First, and we provide like extra stuff for the First experience, but just because of the nature of Death Battle and how it took off on YouTube, like we're a very, very YouTube centric business, and that's definitely. It's very nice being here with Rooster Teeth, knowing that we have this safety net at our back if, when things like this happen and we can pivot and make changes. But yeah, like you were saying, like, ideally, if, everyone wants to go watch this show on Rooster Teeth, that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know, it's gone to a weird point, but I think the Rooster Teeth website is in a great place. The lots of changes to the video player and to just sort of the way it's all set up. So the tech is getting there, and been big improvements, and lots of community features planned that'll make that whole experience a lot better.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff coming up.
I don't think it's bad for us to be like, you know what, maybe we just focus on like our corner of the internet, the one that we actually like have some control over, because if you're not building your platform, you're building someone else's, which in this case is YouTube, which you have no control over. Remember this thing that happened with Patreon fairly recently as well too, where they're like, hey, we're now including this charge for everyone.
They were trying to make they were charging the Patreons more, but not taking a cut away from the creator. And I think maybe even, no, they weren't taking a cut away from the creator. Basically, they were increasing their charges so that Patreon made more money, but the creator didn't lose any. And
So the patrons had to pay more.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they didn't like that.
Yeah, I'm
it
sure.
went very poorly, and they ended up walking back on the whole thing.
Yeah, they did, but a lot of people had already like canceled their canceled everyone they backed, and they're like, well, I can't do this, so they cancel everything. The creators who were using Patreon for fundraising had no insight that change was coming. Yep. They had no control over it happening, and so just a bunch of their patrons evaporate, and there's nothing that they can do about it.
Every platform that you're working on, that you rely on someone else's platform to make money. It's like some days Twitch has issues where you can't buy bits, and then suddenly like donations are way down that day, and so that really fucks with people's livelihood. And it's scary to base your livelihood on someone else's something you don't control at all.
Yeah. So I think we'll be focusing a lot more stuff on the site. We launched Club, and that's our new first exclusive show where we had the first one was the game club for Doki Doki Literature Club. Then we're gonna be filming our first movie club for Stardust, which was a 2007 like action adventure fantasy movie that I feel like got like passed over unfairly because it's an amazing movie. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a clip. So we've got like our new first exclusive show, and we'll put more of our effort into the website where we can build something that is ours and that we have more say in.
Yeah, and we're lucky because Rooster Teeth has its own community. It's not dependent on YouTube, so that's a good thing.
And right now, you can sign up for a first membership trial. Just head over to roosterteeth.com. Start your free trial today.
You get a 7-day free trial. So that's just sort of, I don't know, I guess we just went into like the sort of EA. So we just went from the EA discussion into how it is to be an online creator right now. But that's
shop talk.
Shop talk, whatever. Shop talk with the glitch, please. So if you are already a Rooster Teeth first member, then we will have our post-show New Game Plus exclusively for first members on the Rooster Teeth website, where hopefully you are already watching us anyway, so that'd be pretty dope.
We give you nice compliments on there.
We do. We compliment everybody. It's a lot of love. It's very
only for first members though.
Yeah, you gotta pay for the compliments.
Withholding affection.
Otherwise, yes, we do a 7-day free trial, so you can get access to all the first exclusive shows. It's not just Club. There's a whole bunch. Achievement Hunter's got Hardcore Tabletop. We've got like Day 5, Crunch Time. There's a lot of really great series for first members. Our animated shows are all go to first a week before they go public on the website. So they're all they're really great to have access to, especially if you don't want to get spoiled and you want to keep up on everything. So if you're not a first member yet, hopefully you'll become one. If not, we will still be doing this show next week. Business as usual, but we are going to be figuring some things out. So the YouTube channel may be making some shifts soon. They may be subtle shifts. We'll see, but we'll keep you posted on what we end up doing. And thank you for watching, regardless of where you are, because we think you're pretty dope. Oh shit! I just did a free compliment.
You're okay. You're fine.
Right.
You get one. That's a taste of what you can have.
All right, we'll see you next week.